In today's lecture, we will try to discuss about exchanges and queue, which are also components of AMQP protocol, advanced messaging queuing protocol, on which Rabbitmq is based. So what is exchange? Exchange is just a map which holds information about what all the routes are defined for any particular message. So what it tries to do is it tries to have a kind of mapping between messages and queues. These can be direct exchange, then these can be fan out, or the another one also can be which are only kind of directed for couple of groups and all those things. So let's try to understand today for direct exchange and queues. Queues in Rabbitmq are nothing but they are just the collection of messages. Logically they are nothing, they are just the collection of messages. In any data structure, current data structure is the queue data structure. So what will happen is that you will be having a producer, then you will be having a broker on top of it. Underlying that you will be having a virtual host. As we have discussed in our earlier video, that virtual host is very specific to the environment, and then you can define a map. If you are defining direct exchange, map is direct exchange. So suppose if you have defined consumer 1 is one exchange, and against this exchange you have binded one queue. This queue is binded with consumer 1. So if any message you will produce at the producer end and you will provide exchange as consumer 1, what this exchange will do is it will take this message and it will direct to this queue. So that's the property of exchange. Now comes the queue. Queues, as we understood that these are just the collection of messages. So there are certain properties of the queue as well. So queue can be durable. We will try to understand few properties. There are a lot of properties defined in the AMQP protocol. We'll try to understand which are very relevant for us. So durable means if you have made durable as a true, so what will happen is that even if broker starts, queue will be declared. So if you have declared a queue earlier, when broker starts it will be always available. It's not like that you have to redeclare it and all. You don't need to redeclare it. The next property is auto delete. So what will happen is that auto delete is like when broker restarts, and if you have made this as a false, then this queue will not get deleted automatically. It will be persisted. It will be available. When broker will start, it will get the queue as well. So to make queue persistent, you need to make durable as a true and then auto delete as a false. Then it shows that your queue is durable. The next property is exclusive. If queue is exclusive, then it means that it is very exclusive to a particular consumer. Only one consumer can be attached to it, or two consumer depending upon what you have defined. And if it's non-inclusive, then any number of consumers can get attached to a particular queue. Now some properties of the messages. Messages will have several properties. We'll try to discuss 4-5. One is content type. In content type you can define JSON, text messages, binary data. Then comes the content encoding. If you are processing some data over network which you want to be encoded so that no one deciphers it, then you can provide a particular type of encoding. Then comes the message ID. Using this message ID itself, your consumer will be consuming messages and it will try to find out that what needs to be done with this. Then comes the persistence. Persistence is that messages will be stored in the disk as well. They will be available in queue, and as well as they will be stored in a disk, permanent storage as well. So now comes the next point. If we want our messages to be persistent, then what we need to do is we need to make queue also persistent, which means that auto delete is equal to false and durable is equal to true, and message also persistent. Then ultimately overall persistence will be there. Otherwise, if any of these are not persistent, it will not be persistent.